Decoding the Shastras with help of Jyotiṣa. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to explore this wonderful topic, and today we are having our favorite Dr. Nishchay Nagori with us. This topic is really something we were waiting for, and talking about Dr. Nishchay Nagori, he is a panel astrologer for Art of Living Jyotish Vastu Academy. He has consulted more than thousands of people and also teaching Jyotish fundamental course. So without any wait, over to you, Dr. Mr. Nagori.
Thank you. Thank you, Abhishek. So, we always have this notion that Jyotisha is only about predicting your life, that, okay, when will your marriage will happen, which direction of career you will go to, when your promotions will take place, any health issue. But this is a very wrong notion, I must say. Jyotisha is not just about predictions. Okay. It has so many dimensions, so many things in its depth. And today we are going to explore one of its dimension, that why it was developed to understand the Shastras properly. We have six Vedangas, we have six limbs of Vedas by which we understand the Vedas very well. So, one of them is the Shiksha. Shiksha means the knowledge of phonetics, or the knowledge of each and every alphabet. Okay, so the base level knowledge where you understand the basic part of your profession, anything is called Shiksha. Okay, so that includes, one and understanding each and every energy at different levels. Then after that, we come to Nirukta, where how two energies are coming together and making a different kind of energy. Okay, so one letter is a kind of energy, another one is also an energy. When they merge together, they create a different kind of energy. So, how the energy is interacting with itself, this is studied in Nirukta. Then we go further to the more advanced concept where we understand the flow of sentences and flow of the mantras and the rules for it, that is Vyakaran. Okay. So in the grammatical knowledge, this is the third part. Okay. And then going further, we come to the fourth part where we actually understand what is the depth behind all these mantras, what is the depth behind all these stories, and how and when these mantras or stories are, the knowledge behind them is to be used in our life. And this is called Jyotisha. So Jyotish was never meant just for predictions. It was made as a tool to go deeper into the Shastras and decode them. And today we are going to see this part, that how we decode the Shastras with Jyotish. Okay. So without any wait, let's start our today's topic. So decoding Shastras with Jyotisha. Okay. Yes. So this is the main method which is applied everywhere. And this is like the coding of each and every letter, that each and every energy is coded with a number. And this number which you see in front of you is actually related, with a kind of graha energy, as well as they individually represent the bhava energy as well. Okay, so this is the coding in which each and every letter of the Varnamala of Sanskrit is allocated, and this is how the subtle coding is done. Okay, now let's move further and let's discuss about the first story which we are going to decode as an example. So you all know about Shiva Purana and its stories. You might have heard about them a lot of times. And we are taking the first story of Shiva Sati and Daksha Yajna. So in this story, what happened? That Shiva got married to Devi Sati, and Sati was daughter of Daksha Prajapati, the one who rules the entire universe. And Daksha, who was ruling the entire universe, who was ruling the Devatas, all the natural forces in the universe, all the stars, galaxies of this particular one universe. So he had a ego that I am the one who should be worshipped and not the Shiva. But what happened, because of the pressure of his own father, he had to marry his daughter to Shiva. And he never liked Shiva. So to insult Lord Shiva, what he did, he conducted a huge yagya in the universe, and he didn't invited Shiva and his daughter Sati. And Sati, because of that, became very furious that how come my father insult my husband? And she went there to, argue and fight with her father that how can you do this? You are doing the biggest yajna and you are not inviting Mahadev, who is the main source of all the universes from whom everything is coming out, and you are not worshipping him, and you are just giving yajna bhag, that means the part of yajna's oblation to all the devatas. This is a very wrong thing. So when she was going there, Shiva stopped her and told that it's okay, whatever he did, it doesn't matter to me, because one Daksha Prajapati can never reduce my importance or give my importance. I'm beyond all the things. So, anyway, you need not to go there for such small things. But Sati didn't listen to Shiva, and she went there out of that rage and curiosity, and she wanted to, confront her father. And when she went there, she argued a lot that how can you do this, and she also argued with all the devatas there that how dare you come to this yajna without Shiva. When Shiva is not there, how can you come here and take the yajna's oblation? No puja, nothing is complete without Shiva. So, in her argument, finally, when she couldn't, confront her father more because her father kept on insulting Shiva in front of everyone, so she decided to just burn herself. Not with the physical fire, because no physical fire could even touch Devi Sati. So she burned herself with her own yoga Agni. With the Agni of her own yoga, the yogic power, she burned herself. Okay. And because of that, Shiva became very furious that because of Daksha, her wife burned herself into the ashes, like burned herself, and that's why Shiva, out of this curiosity to just make Daksha understand what he has done, he just takes off his own hairs and he throw them on the ground, from which two biggest energies came, Bhadrakali and Veerbhadra. So both Bhadrakali and Veerbhadra were ordered by Shiva to go to the Daksha's yajna and destroy everything and cut the head of Daksha. So they went there and finally they cutted the head of Daksha. Veerbhadra destroyed the Daksha. And finally, after that, Daksha Prajapati, because he couldn't die, this was his fate. He was Prajapati, so until the universe is there, he will never die. Just the head was cutted off. And Shiva replaced his head with a new head of goat. So he was given a goat head on the human body, and which is also known as Ajamukha. So this is a very nice story from the Shiva Purana, and now let's see how we can understand that how it is applicable to our life with the help of Jyotisha. So, what are the characters in this story? They all have a particular energy. So, let us see that what is their own energy. So, first energy is Shiva. So, Shiva, if you break this word, it is made up of two words. Here we never take the vowels part. Okay, we only take the consonants. I'm not talking about English vowels or consonant, but the Sanskrit vowels and consonants. So the vowels in Sanskrit language are 12, and we are not counting them because they don't have any score. Only consonants have a score. So we will be decoding everything on the basis of this table. Okay. Yeah. So Shiva, which is made up of two words, Sha and Va. So Sha is having the energy of 5 and Va is having the energy of 4. Coming together, this word is having the energy of number 9. And that's why Shiva represents the ninth house. And what is ninth house? It is the house of Guru, house of the guide, mentor, and house of your protection. Because this ninth house is ninth from the Lagna, natural ninth from the Lagna. And this protects the Lagna every time from the destruction. And what is Sati? Let us see the derivation of the word Sati. So it is made up of two words, Sa and Ta. So when we come together, it becomes a total of 13. Whenever the total becomes more than 12, we divide this number by 12 and we take the remainder. So here the remainder is 1. So Sati represents first house or Lagna. Okay. So Shiva is the ninth house, which is protecting and guiding the Lagna, and Sati is the first house of Lagna, which represents your own intelligence. And that's why Adi Shankara said, Atma Tvam Girija Mati. Sati is like the Buddhi. Okay. If you are the Atma, then the Buddhi in me is represented by Shakti, by Sati. So Sati is the Buddhi and Shiva is the protection, or you can say guide of that Buddhi. So it is first and the ninth house natural trine to each other. And what is Daksha? If you see the Daksha, it is made up of two words, the and ksha. In ksha also we have two words, ka and sha, and we decode them by and this letter sh is represent that sh that talavya sh. So it is having the energy of 6. So when we merge them together, it becomes the total of 14, and here the remainder will be 2. So 2 means second house. And if you take this word where you take the entire word Daksha Prajapati, the total becomes 31. And if you divide it by 12, 7 comes as remainder. So Daksha in a way is second and seventh house. And what is this second and seventh house? They are Maraka to the first house. Okay. So that's why the Daksha Prajapati was the reason for destruction of Sati, because the Daksha itself is Maraka to first house. And Shiva sent Veerabhadra. And what is Veerabhadra? Let's look onto it. So Veerabhadra represents the energy of 12th house. If you break it and add all the words according to Katapyadi, it comes to the number 12. So it is 12th house which actually destroys the Daksha's effect and makes him out of the wrong understanding, anger, everything which was there. Now we have this, and now we'll understand that how this story is applicable to our life. I hope you can see this horoscope, which is the natural horoscope of Kala Purusha in front of you. Every number is a house here. Okay. It is same as Rashi and house, but yeah, let's consider them as houses. So Sati is the Lagna or the first house, which represents your own intelligence. And Shiva is the one who is protecting and guiding you through his wisdom. So when you listen to Shiva, you save yourself from the destruction of Daksha, who is the seventh house. Okay. So that's why seventh and second both are Maraka, and they kill the first house. So what happens? The seventh house is the house of, a lot of desires which accumulate, and a lot of things. It is also the house of marriage, life partner, business, and also it is the house or prime house of desires. So when there are a lot of desires and impulses which come in us, we just take the decision out of them and end up in destroying our lives. So Shiva, that is Guru, always guides you. A wisdom in you always guides you that do not work on your own impulses. If you work on your impulses, whatever you feel right now, if you are doing by being carried away because of your impulses, you will end up in destroying yourself. But when Sati doesn't listen to Shiva and goes there, the same thing happens. It got destroyed. Now, to teach Daksha a lesson, Shiva sent the 12th house. That means Veerabhadra. So he is having two qualities. He is Bhadra and he is Veera. Veer means one who is definitely having a lot of strength and who is a warrior, who has a lot of courage. And Bhadra means who is very calm, composed, who is not furious. Okay. So Bhadra means, so these are actually two opposite energies, but they are coming together. And it happens when 12th house gets activated. And this 12th house is actually sixth from the 7th house. And that's why it is having the enmity with the 7th, and it destroys the 7th house, which is the house of destruction. So 12th house can save you from the destruction of 7th house because it is the fifth from 8th house. And fifth from every house is its mantra bhava. So that's why the energy of 12th house always protects your buddhi and also protects you from the destruction. So how you can protect yourself? By listening to Guru and by following the path of 12th house, which is surrendering to Guru. When you leave your buddhi to Guru, then you always take the right decision. 12th house is also the house of meditations. So when you meditate, when you go deeper, when you do sahaj, every time you are protecting your lagna and your buddhi to come out of all the impulsive actions which you are taking, and your inner guidance, that is ninth house, increases a lot, and you save yourself from the destruction. Okay. So this is the meaning of this story, that if you have to save your lagna, you have to go with the help of 9th and 12th house. And how you can increase the effect of 12th house, or how you can go by chanting the mantras which are 12 syllable, or or by surrendering to Guru, or by going deep into meditation. Both are the Guru's thanas. So whenever you have an impulsive drive or action, do not take that action basis on that impulse. Wait for some time, meditate, listen to your inner guidance. If you still don't find it, then find a mentor and Guru and surrender to him, and then take a decision. This will save you always from destruction. This is what this story is telling. So this is how we interpret the Puranic stories on the basis of Katapayadi method, one of them. Okay. And that's how we link the stories with our lives. Okay. How beautiful it is. Now let's come to the decoding of Vedic mantras. So this was a part how to understand the Puranic stories. Okay, now we are coming to the part of Vedic mantras, that how they are, you know, uh, for any homa oblation, that how mantras are selected, that these will be the main mantras, especially for wealth. If any homa or any prayers are done, then these mantras are related to wealth, and these mantras are related to health, or fulfillment of desires, how everything is selected. So this is the first mandala and the first sukta of the Rig Veda. And here it starts with the prayers for Agni Devta. Okay, so let's decode the first mantra of Rig Veda. Agni mide purohitam yajnasya deva mritvijam otaran ratnadhatamam. We are going to decode this mantra. Okay, so when you apply the Katapyadi for each and every letter, the final score you get is 86. If you divide 86 by 12, you get second house or 12 or 2 as the remainder, which represents Vrishabh Rashi or second house. And the one who knows Jyotisha knows that this is the house of wealth, where wealth accumulates and where prosperity and harmony of family is also present. So when we chant this mantra, we get the Agni Devata's blessings for second house. And let's see what is the meaning of this mantra. I praise Agni, the priest of the sacrifice, the divine, the ministrant who presents the oblation to gods and is the processor of great wealth. Just see the similarity. This mantra is actually for wealth, and the literal meaning of mantra is also the one who helps you accumulate the wealth. So Agni gives you all kind of wealth, and this mantra, when you chant, you get the Agni Devata's blessings for wealth and harmony in the family. Okay. So this is how a mantra is decoded for having its significance. Now you will say here there was a direct meaning. So if you were not doing this derivation, still you will find the same thing, that you can directly go to the reason or meaning of this mantra. So let's come to other mantras. The second sukta of the Rig Veda, and we are starting with the first three mantras which are dedicated to Vayu Devata. Okay, so let us do their Katapyadi derivation and see that how and what they are indicating. So the first mantra, if we decode, it will come for a total of 107. And if you divide this 107 by 12, you get 11 as a remainder. So this mantra particularly indicates the 11th house. Okay. The second mantra, which is just following it, if you chant this, let's see which bhava gets activated. So the second mantra, if you decode, the total comes to 111. When you divide it by 12, you get the remainder as 3, which is third house. Okay. And the third mantra, if you do the Katapyadi derivation, 103 comes as total. When you divide by 12, you get the remainder as 7, which is seventh house. So it is 11, 3, and 7, which are trine to itself. They are in natural trines. They are Vayu Trikona. So this mantra is dedicated to Vayu, and it is actually uh, having all three Vayu Rashis and Vayu trines. And that's why these are very important mantras for Vayu. So the first mantra is 11th house, which represents all kind of income which you are getting and all kind of gains which you are getting and all kind of, prosperity which comes to your life comes from the 11th house. Then we have third house, which is fifth from 11th, which increases the effect of 11th house, and it helps you provide more of the 11th house. And fifth from the third, we have the seventh house, which increases the effect of third house, indirectly increasing the 11th house effect, and is also the main kendra of the Vayu Trikon, which ultimately is the place where Vayu rests, because this is the most free Vayu. It is Chara Rashi, movable sign, as well as Vayu Tattva. So it is most free sign, or most sign where most freedom is present. That's why Shanidev exalts here, because he finds maximum freedom here. So if you see this arrangement that these three mantras are actually arranged in trine from themselves. So we are constantly praying to Vayu to give us, the 11th house, okay, or the main all sort of wealth or income which should come. Now, what is the term of wealth which is used here? So if you see the literal meaning of all these mantras, so oh Vayu, do come, seeing these somas, prepared to drink them, do hear the call. Okay. So we are calling the Vayu for receiving the soma and offering the soma. The soma is received by the Vayu. When we are doing soma yagya, we call Vayu to receive the soma and to give the soma to us. So the Vayu Devata will receive the physical form of soma or the dravya, and in turn will bless us with the Soma in form of prosperity in life, because Soma is the Devata of medicine. Soma is the Devata of health and well-being, and also Soma is considered as the one who has wealth protection also. So you are asking for Soma and you are offering the Soma with these mantras, and in turn, you are getting the Soma in the form of good health as well as good harmony, as well as good, wealth around you. So this is how these three mantras, which are dedicated to Vayu Devata, are very important, for getting wealth as well as health from the Vayu Devata, especially for receiving the Soma. Soma is the finest nectar of life which you enjoy. So you enjoy because your desires gets fulfilled. And 11th house is the house where desires are fulfilled. And these three mantras are entwined from themselves. By chanting them with for the Vayu Devata, you get blessings for fulfillment of all desires to receive the Soma, which is the nectar of life. Okay. So this is how we understand the Vedic mantras, their arrangement, their patterns, as well as we understand the Puranic stories with the help of Jyotisha. Also, if you see, how many houses are there. So I have written what all energies are repeating more. They also indicates a lot about different patterns. Also, here there is a forward coding which we have done in this way. There is a reverse coding also which is done in opposite manner. So when you do forward coding, the result is different. When you do the reverse coding, it is a different result, because we live in Maya on the material plane, but actually these mantras are not just related to the plane of Maya, they have a spiritual significance also. So we reverse every house from opposite to it. So 4 becomes opposite to 4, we have number 10. 10th house, then first becomes 7th. This way we reverse everything and do a reverse decoding, which gives us its spiritual significance. So this is how the Shastras are decoded and well understood, that what is the deepest meaning of this mantra, why we are doing it, and what all things we will get as a blessing by praying with these mantras. So this is what uh, this is the main thing for what the Jyotisha was meant, and this is how everything is done. Okay. So this is how we decode the Shastras with the help of Jyotisha and the help of knowledge of Jyotish. So if you have any questions, anything you want to ask, anything you want to tell, yes, please.
Nishchay,
Yeah.
I had a question. Normally, we say that the 12th house
Mhm.
destroys the significance of the house next to it. In this, we're
Yeah.
saying that the 12th house is appreciating or like sort of protecting the first house. How does that fit in?
12th house is protect. See, we have to understand the context here. Okay. The 12th house is protecting your prana because it is fifth from the 8th house. Okay, because it protects your prana, it is also protecting your lagna. So that's why all rejuvenation mantras are 12 syllable. Dvadashakshari mantra rejuvenates you. And in Shastras, we have this story of Dhruv, if you remember, that how Dhruv prayed to Vishnu with the Dvadashakshari mantra and he entered and transformed into Nakshatra Yoni, where he cannot be destroyed. So from being a destroyable creature, he became one who is beyond all the destructions because of a constant chanting of Dvadashakshari mantra. So yeah, it in a way you can, and you will be having this notion that it will destroy first house, but it actually protects by protecting your prana, by enhancing the prana, by enhancing that important wear tear which is required in the body, and protecting your buddhi. So it takes away all the negative effects of ego impulses, which makes you pray for the seventh house. Seventh house cannot directly influence you until unless you enter into its dimension by ignoring your ninth house, which is protecting you. So this is how 12th house actually destroys the seventh house, and it helps to protect you from the maraka effects of seventh house.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Any other question?
This was a wonderful session, and people have really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Uh, there is
So
a
the main
question.
essence of this, this is also one of the part of decoding the Shastras with Jyotish. It is not the complete thing. So we have other, methods also. But the main part or theme was to understand your life and the Shastras better, that what all lessons you can take, how you can, what you can learn from these stories. Also, you can decode the mantras, that where they are going to influence on your life if you chant them. For all these things, the Jyotisha was made, and not just for predictions. Predictions is also a part of it, but it is not just limited to predictions of life. Yeah.
Wonderful. There is a question coming up in the
Yeah.
chat box.
Yeah.
Uh, it's, can these mantras be treated as remedies for helping protect wealth or gain wealth, health, relationships, etc.?
Yes, definitely. See, this is how the Jyotisha, fits in and help you a lot, because which Vedic mantra and which deity will be blessing you wealth, and for that wealth also, which is that particular mantra which you can chant to get that wealth, because you will be directly influencing that house. And many times for Agni, you will get mantras arranged in Trikona to each other. For Vayu, as you have seen, they are in Trikona to each other. This is a repeated pattern which you will see in many mantras. Okay, especially for the four Lokpalas, for Agni, then for Indra and Agni, both are having a similar stature, but yeah, Indra is the Lokpal. For Indra we have, for Varun we have, Yama we have, and Soma also. In Vedas and Kuber, general, we have the mantras arranged in trines, okay, to each other.
Wonderful. Mr. Ji, it was wonderful session, and thank you so much for this wonderful talk. I would request everyone to share this session to maximum people. Any last message you want to give before we conclude?
Yeah, so yeah, the main thing which we should remember, that there are many hidden things in Jyotisha which people usually do not know. Okay, so that's why they always enter into a preconceived notion that, oh, it is just limited to this, or we do not have any, solutions to the things. But there are different things, and they are very specific for each and every specific problems. Okay, So this was a session to just, make you enter or just have a look onto the deepest dimensions, that how vast it is and how much deeper you can go to understand about the different things. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nishchay, for
Okay.
making it.
Jai.